What if I told you the most important skill in your life is not how smart you are, not how rich you are, and not how many people follow you. It is how well you manage your emotions, because your emotions control your focus. Your focus controls your choices, and your choices create your life. You can be the smartest person in the room, but if you cannot stay calm in chaos, you will lose the moment. You can have a heart full of love, but if you cannot express it, you will live misunderstood. And you can have a mind full of dreams, but if fear owns your voice, you will stay silent. Emotional intelligence is not soft. It is strength. It is strategy. It is power you can feel, but never force. And the best part, you can learn it. You can grow it. And you can master it. This is not about being perfect. It is about becoming aware, being present, and leading with wisdom, not reaction. So if you are ready to unlock your greatest superpower, the power to lead yourself and connect deeply with others, you are in the right place. Direct hit, like this video, subscribe for more life-changing lessons, and share this with someone who needs to feel seen, strong, and emotionally free. Because your emotions are not your weakness. They are your edge. Section 1. Understanding emotional intelligence. Imagine this. You are in a room full of people. Conversations are flowing. Words are spoken, but something feels off. You sense tension. You pick up discomfort. You notice smiles that feel fake. You hear laughter that sounds forced, but no one says anything. Yet you know, that is not magic. That is emotional intelligence. Now pause. Have you ever walked away from a conversation thinking, I should not have said that? Or, why did I react like that? That is what happens when emotions control us. When we react instead of respond. Emotional intelligence, often called EQ, is the ability to recognize, understand, manage, and use emotions. Your own emotions, and other people's too. It is more than being nice. It is not about suppressing your feelings. It is about understanding them, listening to them, and guiding them. Let us make this simple. There are 4 main parts to emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship management. Each part plays a powerful role in your success. Let us begin with the first one, self-awareness. This is the foundation. It means understanding what you feel, why you feel it, and how it affects your thoughts and actions. Think about this. You wake up one morning. You feel low. You do not know why. Everything annoys you. Someone says hello, and you snap. Your patience is thin. Your energy is low. The day feels heavy. Now, imagine, instead of acting on that emotion, you stop. You breathe. You ask yourself, what am I feeling? You reflect. Maybe it is stress. Maybe it is fear. Or maybe it is something unresolved from yesterday. You become aware. And with that awareness, you take control. That is self-awareness. It stops you from acting on autopilot. It gives you choice. It gives you space. It lets you respond wisely. Without self-awareness, emotions pull the strings. They control your day. They shape your choices. They damage your relationships. Now comes the second part, self-management. It is not about ignoring your feelings. It is about guiding them. You feel anger. You pause. You breathe. You choose how to express it. You do not yell. You do not blame. You stay calm. That is self-management. In moments of tension, it saves relationships. In moments of fear, it saves dreams. People with strong self-management do not explode. They do not collapse under pressure. They stay focused. They adapt. They keep going. And yes, this is a skill. It can be learned and practiced. Let us now talk about social awareness. This means reading other people, not just what they say, but how they feel. You notice tone, expressions, body language. You sense sadness in a smile. You feel anxiety behind silence. You adjust your words. You offer comfort. You show up with empathy. This is what makes people feel understood, heard, loved. Now the fourth part, relationship management. This is where it all comes together. You understand yourself. You understand others. Now you connect deeply. You build trust. You resolve conflicts. You lead with kindness and clarity. Think of someone you admire, a mentor, a leader, a friend. What makes them special? Is it their IQ, or is it how they make people feel? People with strong emotional intelligence create safe spaces. They lift others up. They inspire change. They heal with words. They support with silence. They know when to speak and when to just listen. Here is the truth. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to be fearless. You need to be aware. You need to be intentional. And you need to care. Emotional intelligence is not a luxury. It is a necessity. It is not just for leaders or speakers. It is for every human being. Your relationships, your work, your inner peace, they all depend on it. Now let us reflect. How do you react when criticized? Do you get defensive, or do you listen? When someone opens up to you, do you really hear them, or do you wait for your turn to speak? When you feel something strong, do you explore it, or do you run from it? These questions are the beginning. The journey starts with noticing, then learning, then practicing. Emotional intelligence is not built in a day, but every day you practice, it grows. And as it grows, so does your strength, your clarity, your connection to life. So breathe, pause, reflect. You are not just learning a skill. You are building a better version of yourself. And that version can handle anything. Now, are you ready for the next step? Section 2, Emotional Self-Awareness. Know what you feel and why. Pause for a moment. Ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? If your answer is, I do not know, you are not alone. Most people move through life unaware of their emotions. They feel things but cannot name them. They react, but they do not understand why. This is where emotional self-awareness begins. It is the ability to recognize your emotions, to name them, to understand where they come from, and most importantly, to know how they shape your choices. Without self-awareness, emotions become puppeteers. They pull strings behind the scenes. They guide your words, your tone, your reactions, and you unknowingly become their puppet. But with self-awareness, you take back the strings. You step off the stage. You become the director of your emotional play. Imagine this. You wake up feeling off. You are frustrated. You rush your morning. Someone cuts you off in traffic. You snap. You get to work, and even a simple question from a colleague feels annoying. What happened? Where did this emotion start? Was it the traffic, the coworker, or did it begin before the day even started? A self-aware person would pause and ask, what am I really feeling right now? Maybe the frustration came from a bad dream, or maybe it is the buildup of stress from the week. With that knowledge, the emotion shifts. It softens. It loses its control. Here is the truth. You cannot change what you do not understand. And you cannot manage emotions you cannot name. Start simple. When a strong feeling rises, Pause. Ask yourself, is this anger or is it disappointment? Is it sadness or is it exhaustion? Use emotional labeling. Do not just say, I feel bad. Say, I feel anxious, or I feel overwhelmed, or I feel unseen. Words matter. They give form to your feelings. They create distance between you and the storm inside. Another powerful tool is journaling. At the end of your day, ask, what did I feel today? Why did I feel it? And how did it impact what I did? This practice will change everything. Over time, you will begin to notice patterns. You will see what triggers you, what uplifts you, what drains you, and what lights you up. Maybe you always feel anxious before meetings. Maybe you feel ignored in group settings. Maybe you feel lonely after scrolling through social media. These are not coincidences. They are emotional clues. They are signs pointing to deeper beliefs. Ask yourself, what is this feeling protecting me from? What story am I telling myself right now? For example, if criticism makes you defensive, maybe it is because you believe criticism equals failure. If you feel rejected when a friend does not reply, maybe it is because you believe your worth comes from others. These beliefs may not be true, but if they go unchecked, they will run your life. Challenge those beliefs. Reframe them. Instead of saying, I am not good enough, say, I am learning and growing. Instead of no one listens to me, say, I am learning how to speak so others hear. This is not fake positivity. It is emotional responsibility. Self-awareness is not about perfection. It is about truth. It is about curiosity. It is about kindness toward yourself. Practice mindfulness. When emotions rise, step back. Do not say, I am angry. Say, I notice anger inside me. That simple shift gives you space. Space gives you choice. And choice is power. Finally, invite feedback. Ask those you trust. How do I respond when I am upset? What patterns do you notice in me? Where do I seem unaware? Yes, it might be uncomfortable, but growth often is. You are not just here to feel your emotions. You are here to understand them, to master them, to use them wisely. Because the more you know about what moves inside you, the more control you have over what happens outside you. That is emotional self-awareness. And it is the first step to mastering your life. Section 3. Emotional regulation, controlling the storm. Emotions are powerful. They can push you to grow, love, and connect. But they can also lead to chaos if left unchecked. Emotional regulation is not about ignoring your feelings. It is about learning to guide them. Take a moment to imagine this. You are in a heated meeting. Your ideas were just dismissed without a second thought. Your chest tightens. Your jaw clenches. The storm is rising. Now, what do? This is the moment that defines emotional intelligence. The first truth you must accept is this: emotions are not facts. They are temporary states. Like clouds, they pass. The feeling of anger or fear feels eternal when you are inside it. But if you pause, breathe, it shifts. That pause is your power. When you feel overwhelmed, use the October 10th 10 rule. Ask yourself, how will I feel about this in 10 minutes? In 10 days? In 10 years? This helps you step out of the moment and into clarity. Now think about breathing. Not just regular breathing, but intentional breath. One of the most powerful tools you have is your breath. When you breathe deeply and slowly, you calm your nervous system. Your heart slows. Your thoughts clear. The storm begins to settle. Try this. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold it for 7 seconds. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds. Do it again and again. This is not magic. It is science. It tells your brain, you are safe. And once your brain believes you are safe, it does not need to fight, flee, or freeze. Another tool is the 10-second pause. When triggered, do not react. Do not speak. Count slowly to 10 in your mind. Feel your feet on the ground. Let the first wave pass. Then choose your response. This alone can save relationships, jobs, and your peace. Here is a story. A young man gets an email from his manager. The tone feels cold, maybe even critical. His heart races. His first instinct, fire back, defend himself, prove a point. But instead, he remembers the pause. He steps away. He breathes. He walks outside. 10 minutes later, he replies calmly, with clarity and confidence. And the result? Respect, not conflict. That is emotional regulation in action. Let us be clear. This is not weakness. It is not about staying silent or bottling things up. It is redirecting the emotion to a wise outcome. You still feel, but now you also choose. Now think about this phrase. You are not weak because you feel. You are powerful when you respond with purpose. Feeling does not make you fragile. Reacting without awareness is what leads to regret. Responding with awareness is what creates strength. Let us talk about cognitive reframing. This means changing how you see a situation. Not lying to yourself, but opening up to other views. Say someone ignores your message. Your first thought, they are avoiding me. But what if you asked, maybe they are busy, maybe they are struggling? That simple reframe softens your reaction. It makes space for understanding. Emotional regulation is not only mental, it is physical too. When you feel anxious, your body tenses. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your muscles tighten. You are ready for a fight. To shift this, move your body. Stretch. Walk. Shake it off. Even 5 minutes can reset your state. Physical movement is a reset button for your emotions. Let us not forget self-awareness. Learn to label what you feel. Say it clearly, I feel angry. I feel sad. I feel hurt. Naming the emotion reduces its power over you. It creates space between you and the storm. Now imagine this. You just received harsh feedback at work. It stings. You feel small. You want to argue. But instead, you pause. You say to yourself, this is just a wave. Let it pass. You breathe. Then you ask, what can I learn from this? That is power. That is growth. That is emotional regulation. Here is a simple truth. The strongest people are not the ones who never get angry. They are the ones who can feel the anger rise and still choose patience. They can feel fear and still choose courage. They can feel sadness and still choose action. So, the next time you feel the storm rising, remember, you are not the emotion. You are the one who chooses what comes next. Because emotional strength is not about suppressing the storm. It is about learning how to sail through it with wisdom, calm, and purpose. And that is the beginning of mastery. Section 4. Social awareness. Reading the room and responding wisely. You walk into a room. Something feels off. No one says anything, but you can feel it. There is tension in the air. That is not magic. That is social awareness. Social awareness is the ability to read people without needing words. It is sensing emotions, noticing shifts in energy, and understanding what is not being said. People with strong social awareness can pick up on tone, posture, and even silence. They listen, not just with their ears, but with their full attention. Imagine this. Your friend says, "I am fine," but their voice is tight. Their eyes avoid yours. Their smile fades too quickly. Someone with low social awareness takes the words at face value and walks away. Someone with high awareness pauses, notices the pain behind the smile, and gently asks again, "Are you really okay?" This one moment can change everything. Social awareness is not just about empathy. It is about applied empathy. It is about feeling with others, then choosing how to respond in a way that helps, not harms. Let us go deeper. In a group setting, have you ever felt the tension rise before a conflict even starts? Have you seen someone nervously fidgeting in a meeting? Or noticed how a person's smile fades when another takes over the conversation? These are signals, clues. You do not need to be a mind reader. You just need to be present. Start by practicing observational listening. When someone speaks, do not plan your response. Just watch. Listen to how their voice rises and falls. Notice their hands. See if they blink quickly or slowly. All these are emotional cues. They tell you more than words ever could. Now, think of this real-life scenario. You are at work. A colleague is unusually quiet. They nod during the meeting, but their energy is low. Afterward, instead of rushing out, you stay. You ask how they are feeling. They look surprised, then relieved. They say they are overwhelmed and needed someone to ask. That moment of awareness, it can build trust. It can prevent burnout. It can even save a life. But let us be honest. Many people miss these signs. Why? Because we are distracted. We are in a rush. We are caught in our own heads. Social awareness requires slowing down. It requires presence. You must be with the person, not just physically, but emotionally. Here is a small challenge. Next time you are with someone, take 10 seconds to pause. Observe. Notice the energy. Feel their mood. Then respond based on what you felt, not just what you heard. You will be amazed how your relationships transform. Let us explore another layer. Sometimes social awareness means adapting your communication style. Not everyone needs the same tone, speed, or approach. Some people need space. Some need directness. Others need encouragement. High emotional intelligence means you know when to speak and when to stay silent. Let us look at leaders. The best leaders are socially aware. They notice when a team is drained. They sense when tension is rising. They give space to the quiet ones and energy to the tired ones. They read the room before they speak. This is not manipulation. This is connection. This is wisdom. At the core of social awareness is empathy, not sympathy, not pity. Empathy means, I see you, I hear you, I understand how this might feel for you. It is not about fixing others. It is about being with them. And here is a powerful truth. You do not need to agree with someone to understand their emotions. You just need to be willing to understand. That is where change happens. Let us make it real again. Picture this. A parent sees their child struggling after school. The child snaps, "Leave me alone." The parent feels hurt, but instead of yelling, they pause. They breathe. Then say gently, "You seem upset. I am here when you are ready." That is social awareness in action. That is emotional safety. One moment of awareness can stop a fight. One kind word can repair a bond. One pause can change the story. And now, a reflection for you. Think back. When was the last time someone really saw you, heard you without interrupting, responded with kindness, not judgment. How did that feel? You have that power. You can give that gift. Every day. Here is your takeaway. People remember not what you said, but how you made them feel. Social awareness gives you that gift. Use it with care. It is not always easy, but it is always worth it. And that is where true connection begins. Section 5. Relationship management. The bridge between you and the world. You can have all the emotional awareness in the world. You can understand your feelings, manage your reactions, and read others like an open book. But without mastering the final pillar of emotional intelligence, relationship management, you will still feel disconnected, frustrated, and alone. Because no matter how deeply we know ourselves, life is lived in connection with others. Relationship management is not about being liked by everyone. It is about building relationships that are real, resilient, and rooted in trust. It is the art of navigating difficult conversations with calm, resolving conflict without damage, and knowing when to lead with truth and when to lead with love. Let us begin with a truth that many people avoid. Conflict is not a sign of a broken relationship. It is a sign of a real one. But what separates emotionally intelligent people is how they handle that conflict. They do not seek to win arguments. They seek to understand feelings. They do not interrupt. They listen. They do not blame. They ask questions. And above all, they make people feel safe. Imagine this. You are in a heated discussion with a colleague. You disagree. Tension rises. Voices climb. But instead of escalating, you pause. You breathe. You say, "Help me understand what you need right now." That moment, that single sentence, could prevent weeks of resentment. It could build a bridge, not a wall. That is relationship management in action. The foundation of this skill is empathy, not surface-level sympathy, but deep, grounded empathy. It is the ability to step out of your own mind and into someone else's shoes, to feel what they feel without losing yourself in their storm. But empathy is not always easy. Sometimes the people we need to understand are the ones who frustrate us most. They interrupt. They criticize. They withdraw. And in those moments, it is tempting to defend, to shut down, to walk away. But emotionally intelligent people choose a different path. They choose to stay curious. They choose to ask, what is this person really feeling behind their behavior? Because every angry word is often fear in disguise. Every cold silence is sometimes pain that has not been named. And every difficult person is usually carrying a story we do not see. In emotionally rich relationships, people feel seen, not judged. They feel heard, not dismissed. And that is not accidental. It comes from choosing words with care, from speaking honestly, but kindly, from setting boundaries without guilt. And boundaries are vital. Many people confuse kindness with compliance. But saying yes to everything is not love. It is self-abandonment. Real relationship management includes learning how to say no, clearly, gently, and without apology. It means expressing your needs, even if your voice shakes. It means honoring your time, your energy, your peace. Here is a simple truth. Your relationships will only grow as far as your communication allows. And powerful communication begins with self-awareness. Do you speak to be right or to be understood? Do you listen to reply or to connect? Now, let us get practical. What does powerful relationship management look like in everyday life? It looks like giving feedback that builds, not breaks. Instead of saying, "You always ignore me," you say, "When this happens, I feel unseen. Can we talk about it?" It looks like stepping into a difficult conversation and beginning with, I want us to understand each other better. That is why I am bringing this up. It looks like showing up consistently, not perfectly, but with presence, responding to messages, following through on promises, saying, I do not have an answer yet, but I am thinking about you. It looks like being emotionally generous, saying thank you, offering support, letting people know they matter. Most importantly, it looks like choosing relationships where emotional safety is mutual, where you are not punished for speaking up, where growth is shared, where vulnerability is not used as a weapon, because relationship management is not a solo act. It is a dance. And for that dance to work, both people must be willing to grow. Let us also talk about repair, because even emotionally intelligent people mess up. We say the wrong thing. We forget to listen. We raise our voices. And when that happens, maturity is not about pretending it did not happen. It is about owning it. I was wrong. I did not handle that well. I am sorry. These words hold power. They heal. They restore connection faster than defensiveness ever will. In the end, the strength of your emotional intelligence will always show up in the quality of your relationships, not just romantic ones, but with friends, with family, with colleagues, even with strangers. So if you want to build a life rich in connection, where conversations bring peace, where feedback leads to growth, and where love feels safe, start by mastering relationship management. Because when you know how to manage relationships with compassion and clarity, you do not just become better at talking. You become unforgettable at connecting. Your presence will linger long after the conversation ends. Section 7. The voice inside, transforming self-talk. There is a voice inside your head. It never stops talking. It tells you who you are, what you can do, what you cannot. Sometimes it lifts you up, but often it pulls you down. This voice, your self-talk, is not just a background noise. It is the narrator of your life, and it shapes everything, from how you feel to how you act to what you believe is possible. But here is the truth. That voice inside you is not always right. Most people do not realize how powerful their inner dialogue is. They walk around with words like, I always fail. I am not good enough. No one takes me seriously. These statements are not facts. They are mental habits, old, repeated thoughts that have turned into beliefs. And here is the most dangerous part. Your brain believes what you tell it most often. If you keep saying, I always mess up, your brain starts scanning the world to prove you right. This is called confirmation bias. Your brain filters reality to match your beliefs. So when you succeed, you dismiss it as luck. When you struggle, you say, see, I knew it. And the cycle continues. But here's where transformation begins. You can change that voice. You can rewire your self-talk. And when you do not just feel better, you live better. Start here, awareness. Notice the voice. Catch it in the act. Pay attention to how you speak to yourself, especially when things go wrong. Do you say, I am such an idiot? Or, I am still learning? Do you whisper, I can't do this? Or, this is hard, but I will try anyway? That tiny shift in words, it rewires your brain. Next, practice thought replacement. Every time a negative thought shows up, replace it with something more empowering. Not a lie, but a better truth. Instead of, I am bad at speaking, say, I am improving my communication every day. Instead of, I always fail, try, each mistake teaches me. I am growing. It may feel strange at first, even fake, but over time, these new thoughts become stronger. Why? Because repetition creates belief. Neuroscience proves it. When you repeat a positive thought and pair it with action, you strengthen new neural pathways. That is how you reprogram your brain. Let us talk about affirmations. Most people get them wrong. They use big, unrealistic phrases that their brain instantly rejects. Instead of saying, "I am the best at everything," start with something real. "I am learning. I am trying. I am becoming stronger." Make it believable. Make it believable. Then say it out loud, daily. Write it down. Rehearse it when you are brushing your teeth, walking, or sitting alone. The more often your brain hears it, the more normal it becomes. And soon it starts to feel true. But words are not enough. You must act in alignment. If you say, "I am getting better at speaking," go speak. Start a conversation. Raise your hand. Say your thoughts in a meeting, even if your voice shakes. When your words match your actions, belief is built. One small action, one brave step. That is how confidence is created. Now, let us talk about self-compassion. It is not weakness. It is not laziness. It is emotional strength. When you mess up, when life knocks you down, the way you speak to yourself determines what happens next. Self-criticism triggers stress. It shuts down your ability to think clearly. But self-compassion, it activates reward. It helps you bounce back faster. So the next time you fall, do not say, "I am a failure." Say, "I am learning. I can try again." This kind voice is not soft. It is powerful. It is the kind of voice that builds resilience. Think of how you talk to a friend who is struggling. Would you say, "You are hopeless"? Or would you say, "You are doing your best"? And that is enough right now. So why speak any differently to yourself? You do not motivate yourself through shame. You grow through encouragement, through belief, through love. Your inner voice can either be your greatest enemy or your greatest coach. You choose which one it becomes. And remember, the journey to transforming your self-talk is not about being perfect. You will still hear doubt, fear, criticism. But now you know better. Now you know that voice can change. You can guide it, train it, teach it to speak with truth, strength, and kindness. Because at the end of the day, your self-talk is the soundtrack of your life. Make it one that lifts you up. Make it one that makes you proud. Section 8. Living emotional intelligence daily. Emotional intelligence is not something you turn on once and forget. It is not a switch. It is a lifestyle. It lives in your daily habits, in your quiet choices, in the way you respond when no one is watching. It shows up in moments you never post online, moments when you pause before reacting, when you breathe before judging, when you choose peace over pride. This is where the real work begins, not in the big, dramatic breakthroughs, but in the small, steady practices that shape who you become. Let us start with the morning. Before you check your phone, before the world pulls you in 100 directions, take 2 minutes, just 2. Sit quietly. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Not what you should feel, not what others expect, but what is real? What is true inside your chest? Is there stress, excitement, worry, joy? Just name it. No judgment, just presence. This simple act trains your emotional awareness. It builds the muscle of mindfulness, and mindfulness is the root of emotional control. Now, carry that awareness through your day. Let it walk with you. Let it breathe with you. Do emotional check-ins. Before a meeting, after a phone call, in the middle of a stressful moment, pause. Ask, what am I feeling? What do I need right now? Sometimes all you need is one deep breath. Sometimes you need to step away. Sometimes you need to speak the truth with calm strength. When you build that habit, you become emotionally fluent. You are no longer reacting. You are responding with intention, and that changes everything. Let us talk about reflection. At the end of your day, take 5 minutes. Write down 3 questions. What emotion showed up most today? When did I handle a situation well? When could I have done better? You are not looking for perfection. You are looking for honesty. Progress, not pressure. You will begin to see patterns. You will notice that the same situations trigger you. The same fears return, and the same strengths carry you. This is powerful, because what you see, you can change. Now, let us add journaling. Journaling is not just writing words. It is untangling thoughts. It is clearing the fog. Write like you are talking to a trusted friend. Write like you are trying to meet yourself. Ask, what am I learning about me today? Ask, what did I ignore that needs my attention? Ask, what did I feel but never said? This is self-connection. This is how you stop being a stranger to your own emotions. Next comes connection with others. Emotional intelligence is not just inward. It is outward. It is social. It is how you listen when someone else speaks. It is the way you pause before correcting, the way you nod with care, the way you notice what they are not saying. People can feel when you are fully present, and that feeling builds trust. Practice empathic communication. Reflect what you hear. Say, it sounds like you felt hurt. Say, that must have been frustrating. Not to fix, not to solve, but to understand. Understanding heals more than advice ever will. Let us talk about boundaries. Emotionally intelligent people know when to say yes and when to say no. They protect their peace. They do not explode. They do not avoid. They communicate clearly. They speak with kindness, not guilt, and they teach others how to treat them by how they treat themselves. This is strength, not softness. This is wisdom, not weakness. Now, remember this. Emotional intelligence does not mean you never feel pain. It means you do not let pain lead your life. It means you allow sadness, but do not become it. You allow anger, but do not act out of it. You feel everything, but you choose your response. Every single time. This takes practice. You will stumble. You will lose your calm. You will react when you meant to reflect. That is okay. Every time you notice it, you are growing. Every time you pause, you are rewiring. Every day you choose mindfulness, you are building mastery. So do not chase perfection. Chase presence. Chase awareness. Chase the version of you who leads with wisdom, not wounds. Finally, remember this. Emotional intelligence is not something you do. It is someone you become. In your thoughts, in your habits, in your presence, in your peace. So keep going. Your growth is showing, and the world needs more people who feel deeply, think clearly, and love wisely. You are becoming that person, one day at a time. You have come far, from self-awareness to emotional regulation, from reading the room to transforming your inner voice. You have learned how to listen deeply, how to pause when emotions rise, how to choose your words with care, and how to connect without losing yourself. This is not just knowledge. It is a toolkit, and it is now yours. But remember, emotional intelligence is not about being perfect. It is about being present. It is not about controlling others. It is about mastering yourself. It is not learned in one day. It is practiced every day. Every moment you choose patience over reaction. Every time you breathe before you speak. Every time you ask, not assume. You are building emotional strength. And slowly, the world around you begins to change. People feel safer around you. They open up. They trust you. Not because you have all the answers, but because you have made space for their truth. That is what leaders do. That is what healers do. That is what emotionally intelligent people do. So, take this message with you. You are not here to be liked by everyone. You are here to lead with wisdom, love, and clarity. Let this be your compass. Let this be your power. And now, if this video helped you, inspired you, or made you think, like it, subscribe for more, and share it with someone you care about. Because emotional intelligence does not just change you, it changes every life you touch. And the world is waiting for that version of you.